So they started off the show with Cody and Red Velvet against Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. And I really didn't understand the story heading into this, why they were having a match in the first place. From the video clips they showed, it looked like it was all Brandy that was the instigator, and she weren't even there. I know she's pregnant. She was there last week, though, so why couldn't she have been involved somewhere in the back, watching the TV screen, in the crowd, just not getting it actually involved? But, you know, we know she's there. But no, there was no mention of Brandy whatsoever. They just did the match. The match was okay. I get why SHAQ was there. It brings eyes on the product, maybe. But people are just going to go watch SHAQ, and then that's it, basically. They're not going to watch the rest of the show. You just put it straight out at the beginning, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, well, SHAQ's done. I'm off. I'm done. See you later. That was it. Ridiculous putting it right at the beginning, I thought. Bad placement for that. Shaquille O'Neal was okay. Don't ever expect much from people who are not really that trained in the wrestling business to come in and do what he did. He did all right. My bar was set low for this match, and he actually impressed me from what he could actually do. What he did was quite good. The moves he did, what he did to Cody, the little bits he did do, going through the table at the end. Wasn't impressed with Cody slamming him. I don't think they really needed to do that. That was ridiculous. Why Austin or one of the Gunn brothers jumped over the railing, I don't understand. For some reason, the kid wanted to get involved and just smash SHAQ in the back with a chair. He just ruined the complete match, really. It should have been a DQ from that point. What were you doing, you idiot? There was no need for that. Ridiculous. But yeah, SHAQ going for a table was cool. The highlight of the whole thing was basically Jade Cargill for me. Red Velvet was pretty decent as well. The two girls carried the whole match. They were the highlight of this, and obviously that was the highlight of everything. The highlight of Jade, basically, get her over, and she did a good job. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. So then after SHAQ went through a table, he got taken out the back, and this was the most ridiculous segment of the night. They tried to put him in an ambulance. He couldn't fit. He had to bend his knees. We were supposed to think he was knocked out. And then, for some reason, Tony Schiavone wanted to go in the ambulance to see what was going on. He opened the door and SHAQ had disappeared. No mention afterwards of where he's gone at all throughout the rest of the show. No going back, what's going on with SHAQ, looking for SHAQ, anything like that. Where the fuck is SHAQ? So after all that ridiculousness, we had a pretty simple squash tag team match. A lot of tag team matches on this show. It was Death Triangle, which is Rey Fenix and the Bastard Pack, going up against John Skyler and D3. Never heard of them, don't know who they are, don't care about them. It was a complete squash and just a waste of time, just filler basically on the show. That was the Inner Circle press conference, and Barstool were there. I was expecting my main man to be there. This guy.
You're proving my point. No, you're proving your point. We're fucking 15th.
It's on the.
We're 15th.
But no, we got a bunch of jabronis asking stupid filler questions. We did get a funny moment where MJF called, I think it was Conrad Thompson, turkey tits. But apart from that, it was a waste of time. Then the Bucks came out. Now, if last week the Bucks' dad got beaten down. Now, if your dad had been beaten the shit out of, and you see the geezers that do it, what are you going to do? You're going to walk down there, cry about how much you love your dad, or are you going to just jump them and beat the shit out of them? What would you do in real life? The fight, when they finally got to fighting, yeah, it was pretty decent. Seeing them do the table spots, that was pretty cool, but they didn't really need to go down there and blab on about how much they love their dad, crying about how much they love their dad. They could have set that up a couple of weeks ago so we actually cared when his dad got beaten up. If you didn't know who Papa Buck is last week, you wouldn't care. You didn't really care. It would have been nice to actually have built to that. Them tell us how much they care about their dad. Then their dad gets beaten up, and this week they just absolutely come down, try and beat the shit out of them. I like they didn't get their hands on MJF and Jericho. They beat up their minions, Santana and Ortiz. So that was pretty cool. Putting them through tables was a good spot on the show. Quite exciting. And I like that. But I didn't like how they went about to get to that. Looking forward to the tag team match, though, at Revolution between Jericho, MJF and the Bucks. Should be a good match. So then they did a little video package for the exploding barbed wire death match that we're going to get at Revolution. This serious professional wrestling company are doing a barbed wire exploding death match. If you haven't seen it before, they are absolutely brutal. It's going to be fun. Absolutely fun. That's all. It's going to be jokes. Absolute bants. Just watching that and watching Kenny Omega and John Moxley explode all over the place. The only one I saw was Mick Foley and Terry Funk, and that was brutal. So this should be absolute. If it's anything on that sort of level, then we're in for some fun. That was kind of cool to see Tully Blanchard back and JJ Dillon in his corner in a 6-man tag. Yes, Tully looked like a Teletubby. But he did really well. Didn't like what he was wearing, but in the ring, what he didn't do a lot, but what he did do, he did well. His opponents, I'm not a big fan of the Jurassic Express, especially Marco Stunt, but they did all right. I wasn't too bothered with what they did. He didn't do a lot, Marco Stunt. What he did do was okay. But it was a decent 6-man tag match. And I like that, FTR and Tully went over. Sean Spears is back, and they're looking like they're going to be forming some sort of 4-horseman group. Arn Anderson came out where JJ Dillon was in the ring with Tully, putting up the 4 fingers. Cool little spot. See what happens from here. So Paul White, the Big Show, is in AEW, and he did a nothing really interview on the ramp with Tony Schiavone. I liked his t-shirt. He did mention that he has a scoop that there's going to be a Hall of Fame worthy signing for AEW at Revolution. Haven't got a clue who it is. You guys know who it is. Comment down below, please, because I have no idea. Who could it be? For me, the match of the night was the women's final of some tournament they did, but it wasn't really a tournament. You can't really call having 2 matches a tournament, can you? There was a semi-finals and a final. That's not a tournament. Come on. Not really. We're just finding out who a number 1 contender is. The girl got a cup for it as well. You won 2 matches and you get a cup in this company, do you? That's a joke. Come on. But it was a good match. I enjoyed the match between Nyla Rose and, hang on a minute, Ryo Mizunami, I think. I'm butchering that, but she was really impressive. I liked the match. One of my favourite matches of the week so far. What I didn't like what happened after the match. For some reason, the women's champion, Hikaru Shida, is it? Is that the one I'm thinking of? I think so. She comes in the ring and they hold hands, Rio and Hikaru, and then they start, for no reason, out of nowhere, forearming each other in the face. Just for no reason. Ridiculous. So for the second week running, Sting and Darby Allin get the better of Team Taz. For me, it should be the baby faces who get the beat down from the heels. The heels should be up until the pay-per-view. They should be strong, and then they get taken out. Not what they're doing now. This is bad booking from the Booker of the Year. They had a qualifier match for a number 1 contenders match at Revolution. It was the Acclaimed Max Caster. Don't know who he is. Haven't got a clue. His gimmick is pretty much the Doctor of Thugonomics. And Dark Order's number 10. Wow, what a gimmick that is. Number 10. This Dark Order, man, I'm done with it. Done. I know Brody Lee and R.I.P., man. R.I.P. And that's why they're keeping this group around. But for me, this group has sucked balls. I'm sorry, they have. The sooner they split them up and let these guys be characters on their own, like John Silverman, the better, really. Max Caster wins and goes on to Revolution for this ladder match that has no. It's just on the card, basically. It's just a spot fest match that they're going to shove on there, and then someone gets a title shot at, I think it's Darby Allin's TNT Championship at some point down the road. Then we had the main event, and it was another tag team match. Oh. And it was John Silver and Adam Page versus Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. It was an alright standard tag team match. Nothing fantastic. Page got the win, and then Matt Hardy attacked Page after the match, and then it ended with the whole of the Dark Order coming out and attacking Matt Hardy, and then a massive brawl with everyone that's involved in the Battle Royal. For some reason, the Battle Royal is like the pre-show match, isn't it? Why end the show like that? There was no Kenny Omega, no John Moxley really on this show. No mention of them really, apart from that little promo package they did about the exploding barbed wire match. The show was decent. I was expecting more in the closing segment than they did. But apart from that, it was okay. I like the pace of the show. Like I said, the women's match was the best match of the night. One too many tag team matches for my liking, but it was a decent show. It wasn't their worst, wasn't their best, but it was middle of the road. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.